Hi students, welcome to my YouTube channel, that is NCERT Mitra. So today we are going to discuss or start to new chapter that perhaps you can see, that is the exogenous processes and associated landform. In this video we are going to discuss the exogenous processes including the endogenic processes and their associated landform, physical weathering, then the chemical weathering and the biological weathering and associated landform. So let's get started. First thing, what is endogenic processes? Endogenic processes the large scale landform building and transferring the processes and create that create the landform or the relief. Endogenic process of the that is the igneous process, that is the volcanism, plutonicism, that the igneous intrusion, plate tectonic movement, folding, faulting, okay, earthquake, okay. So these are come on the endogenic process. Okay, it is. Then you can come to the next vital point, that is the exogenous process. Okay, what is exogenous process? Perhaps you can see that is the gradational processes. They are the comprise the gradation and aggradations of modify. Okay, a continuation of the processes, weathering, mass wasting, erosion, then come to the transportation and dispositions. Okay, these processes are carried through the geomorphic agents. So some of this exogenic processes is carried about by the some of the process, gravity, flowing water, moving of the ice or the glacier moves, and the waves and the tides, okay, wind. So these are the exogenic, you can say, the agents. These agents take a part in the, you can say, the gradational parts, okay, or they degrade or they erode, okay. They are the agents. They continuously work on the earth surface and do some erosion over there, okay. Degradation processes, also called the denudation processes. Degradation, weathering, the mass wasting and the erosion and the transportation, these are called the degradation. Where the land is denude, means where the land or the upland should be down due to the agents of erosion. Erosion means the gravity, then come to the perhaps you can see the flowing water, then come to the moving ice, okay, waves, tides, etc. Okay, then perhaps you can see another, the aggradation. What is aggradation? So perhaps you can see over there, the aggradation is the process, okay. Aggradation means where the erosion is there, so due to this some process, this area again their deposition. So one area, if in the earth surface one area there is a erosion, so other area, this material by the river, by the winds, by the, you can see the flowing water, you can see the, that can be transported, or the animals, plants, that can be transported from one place to another place and deposit. That is called the aeolians or the glacier, okay. So this thing we have to understand. Next, you can say the, so perhaps you can know, we have to know the what is the gradation, aggradation and degradation in widely. Gradation, perhaps you know, it is the process that changes the surface of the earth throughout the agents, okay, throughout the agents, as such as the gravity, running water, that is called the gradation, okay, gradation. So these are the changes, downpour, so the erosion, transportation, deposition, this all together, it is called the gradation. What are the various agents? Perhaps you can running water, glacier ice or the glacial ice, then the wind, then the waves and the rivers. So these are called the gradation. What do you mean by the degradation? The degradation is the lowering down the bottom land or the surface through the processes of the erosion, okay. The conceptuality, you can say that the opposite of the vertical component of the aggradation. So aggradations and degradations, okay. So aggradations will be the one process, and after the opposite, that's the degradation, okay. So this thing you have to understand. Some of the, there is a landform, perhaps you can see that the channel, so they are decreasing day by day, okay. So this thing we have to understand a lot. What are the agents? We already discussed, the running water, glacier ice and etc. Aggradation is the deposition. Perhaps you can see deposition process. Aggradation is the deposition process in which the depositional area fill with the vertical stacking of sediments, okay, from the thick layer of the water, as so far of the case of the deposition in the depth of water far away from the shore. So this thing we have to understand a lot. If you want to discuss this, the difference, what is the difference? Sometimes the question also come in the exam, that what are the difference between the aggradation and the degradation. So effects of base level, perhaps, so increase. So in the case of aggradation, base level increase. In the case of degradation, base level decreases, Okay, sedimentary environments, if you say that happens in the sediment chalk rivers, that can be happen and happens in somehow that is the associated land increase in the kinetic energy. So this also associated with the erosion. So associated process, the associated is the deposition would be there in the case of the aggradation, and degradation there's perhaps you can see in my background, that is the associated with the erosion. Okay, so this thing we have to understand a lot. River energy associated with the decrease in kinetic, and kinetic energy will be, you can see the decrease in that case in the aggradation. But in the degradation, what happened? The associated, the kinetic energy or the river force or the velocity of the river will be very high due to the slope of the river would be the very high. So far we discussed some of the, you can say the slides so far, that is the what is perhaps you can say endogenic process, what is exogenic process and their agents, and aggradation, degradation, okay, and geomorphic agents, what are the geomorphic agents, and you can say the gradation and the degradation and perhaps aggradation and their differences. So this is for all about this video. Okay, thank you for watching this video.